Hello and welcome to the Indy Stars Colts YouTube channel. I am Colts insider Joel A. Erickson. Please like and subscribe. Get this video stuff that we're doing now, kind of an extra piece of our coverage. I want to talk a little bit about Jonathan Taylor because realistically, Jonathan Taylor has not gotten really much of any coverage so far this season. He's the steady kind of expected thing in this Colts offense. And the quarterback position, what they're doing at wide receiver, all that stuff is more interesting because it's more up in the air. But Jonathan Taylor's coming off of a 1,400-yard season. He's got 6,000 yards in his first 5 seasons, 3 1,000-yard seasons. The only times he didn't break 1,000 yards, he dealt with injury for a significant amount of time. This is the guy who's gonna drive the offense. I think he's probably going to carry the ball quite a bit. Against the Dolphins. The Dolphins were good on defense. They're good. They have a lot of players up front. You would think you want to attack that secondary, but attacking that secondary also exposes you to the pass rush. So that brings us back to Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor and DJ Giddens. I think that with Taylor, you have this player that you know you can rely on. We were talking to him today. We have a story up on IndyStar.com about how he's still pursuing trying to run 23 miles an hour at some point in practice, trying to match former teammate Isaac Grenda, who's now with the Niners. It's a kind of a reminder that Jonathan Taylor, who publicly does not, make a lot of headlines outside of his contract negotiation a couple years back, he's a guy who's always thinking about how he can get better, how he can improve, how he can maintain. From what we saw on the practice field, he's still Jonathan Taylor. I think last year's fumble against Denver kind of maybe lessened his season in the mind of Colts fans, but 1,400 yards is nothing to sneeze at. The big thing, I think, for Taylor is that they can keep him a little more fresh this season. You want them to have a change of pace. Down the stretch last year, he had 206 carries, or 206 touches, I should say, in the final 8 games. There were less than 30 touches by other running backs down the stretch. I think to get Taylor, the effective Taylor, the entire season, you have to give him some help, and I think that's DJ Giddens. DJ Giddens is a guy who is very quiet, but he's got a subtleness to him. I think that probably is the change of pace. When you think of change of pace, usually you think about big running back, small running back, thunder and lightning type things. This isn't necessarily the same thing. Both of these guys can go between the tackles, but Jonathan Taylor as a runner is sudden. Sudden is probably the best word. When he makes a jump cut, it's sudden. It's a big move. When he bursts through the hole, when he takes off, it's really fast. DJ Giddens is more subtle. Taylor was talking about today. He leans one way and goes the other way. He gets defenses off balance and then finds the crease. I'm interested to see how they use him and how many carries he'll get. They can't run Jonathan Taylor 30 times a game or 25 times a game for an entire 17-game season and keep him there. I don't think DJ Giddens is going to be able to carry the running game for a significant amount of time if Taylor goes down. And so he's got to provide a complementary piece. This team, I'm expecting them to run a lot. What's the breakdown look like? 20 carries for Taylor, maybe 5 for Giddens, 5 to 7 for Daniel Jones. Maybe a carry or 2 here or there for Tyler Warren. Maybe. Goodson getting a couple carries. I think they want to run the ball a ton. I think you want to take some of that off of Taylor in order to keep him fresh because he's your biggest difference maker on offense that we know of. The passing game is going to be a little bit in flux with Jones. Can he get down the field? Can he take advantage of what Steichen schemes up? All that stuff is a big question mark. The consistent and constant is Jonathan Taylor. And in talking to him today, he's still the guy who sets up blocks. He's still the guy who's looking for any way to make himself better physically. That's the guy I think they're going to count on against the Dolphins and count on for the rest of the season. We're going to be watching the quarterbacks. All of us are going to be watching the quarterbacks and wondering about that. But this is still a Jonathan Taylor offense, at least to start, and we'll see where it goes from there. For the Indy Star, I'm Colts insider Joel A. Erickson. Please like and subscribe as we continue to put these videos out as a bonus to our coverage on the Star.